Hi, I'm Jeff Jensen.
And I'm Mike DeSimone. And together, we're the World Wine Guys. Welcome to our show, World Wine Guys, What We're Drinking. Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching every week. Thank you for all the likes, all the shares, all the comments, all the feedback, all the messages that people send us, asking questions.
Right. Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it. We really appreciate you being here with us each week.
Well, you know, the weather is starting to get a little bit warmer out there. Some days
it's
cooler.
Iffy.
Yeah, it's iffy. You know, we're in New York City. It can be cold one day, hot the next. But when it starts getting warm, I'm thinking of grilling, and I'm thinking of like grilling some steaks and ribs and that kind of stuff. And whenever I think about that, I think about Napa cabs. So today we wanted to show you 3 of our favorite Napa cabs. These are wonderful expressions of the Cabernet Sauvignon grape, which comes originally from Bordeaux. And California is growing a lot of Cabernet, and 25% of the Cabernet Sauvignon that's grown in California is grown in the Napa Valley. So we want to talk a little bit about Napa cabs.
Okay, so let's start with the first wine. This is the Hess Collection Estate-Grown Mount Veeder Cabernet Sauvignon.
Right.
Mount Veeder is in the west side of Napa Valley of the Mayacamas mountain range. That's the range that actually divides Napa and Sonoma.
Right, Sonoma's just on the other side.
So when you grow wine at altitude, when it's grown on a mountain, you get, it preserves the freshness, you get good acidity, but also just from the breezes you get up there and the fact that it's colder higher up, you also get thicker skins, which give you like nice, hefty tannins.
Well, this one smells great. I'm getting like a lot of cassis, blackberry, black raspberry. This is a real heady wine. So let's give this one a taste.
You know what? This is aged in French oak for 22 months, and you can actually, you can smell that vanilla and the spice on there too.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for watching.
And
cheers.
Cheers.
I'm getting a lot of flavors that go from, you know, the bouquet, the aromas going right to the tongue. So nice blackberry, cassis, really.
Yeah, there's some black cherry. There's also a nice note. There's some dark chocolate, but there's something, there's a little bit salty, like a note of like butterscotch in there too, which I really like.
Well, this one you can get at wine.com, and it's about $65. So a nice Cabernet from Napa Valley.
Okay.
Speaking of nice Cabernets from Napa Valley, this is Freemark Abbey. This happens to be one of my favorites as well. I have a lot of favorites. It's okay,
But you know, Freemark Abbey was one of the wineries that submitted and participated in the 1976 Judgment of Paris, which was a pivotal moment in the California wine industry. Before that time, nobody took California wine seriously, and a bunch of French judges sat down and blind tasted wine from France and wine from California, and it turned out that the wines from California beat the wines from France. Actually, Freemark Abbey was the only California winery that submitted 2 wines to that. They submitted their Chardonnay and their Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah. Well, this is a historic winery. This was founded in California in 1886. So it's a very nice old winery.
And you know, we call out our female winemakers, and this actually has a brand new, she just rose to the position of head winemaker this year. So let's give a shout out and a toast to winemaker Christy Melton. Cheers. Cheers,
Christy. Congratulations. And
cheers.
Let's give this a try. Wow. Again, big, beautiful aromas of dark fruits, dark plums, a little bit of chocolate, and they transfer seamlessly to the palate for me. Those are really, I love when you smell different components and you get those components on your palate. To me, that's a really nicely well-made wine.
Yeah, you know, this is aged, I think, 26 months in a blend of new oak and old oak. it's got really lush, like opulent tannins.
Yeah, like voluptuous.
You can still feel it going in your mouth, and that's the kind of wine I love with like a nice, well-marbled steak, because you get that, and you kind of get that drying thing from the tannins in your mouth, but then like the fat from the steak like cuts right through that. Also, in addition to like the all the fruit that you're tasting on it, this also has like a thyme and oregano,
like dried herbs.
Yeah, dried herbs. Yeah,
really,
the kind of
really
things you might actually sprinkle on your steak before you grill it.
Sounds good to me. I've taken a couple of tastes of this one already. I really like this.
So this you can get at yourwinestore.com, and the Freemark Abbey cab is $60.
Love it. Well, let's move to the next one. Speaking of Judgment of Paris in 1976, Chateau Montelena actually won for their Chardonnay.
For their Chardonnay, right? Yeah.
So they entered the Judgment of Paris, and Chateau Montelena Chardonnay was chosen as one of the best Chardonnays in the world. Yeah. But today we're not doing Chardonnay. We're doing
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
This is also from a historic winery. If memory serves me correct, this was founded in 1882, so just a couple of years before Freemark Abbey. And then the Barrett family, Jim Barrett in 1968 bought Chateau Montelena along with a couple of partners, and now his son Beau Barrett is the head winemaker there. And you might remember when we talked about women winemakers a few weeks ago, we talked about rock star winemaker Heidi Peterson Barrett. Her husband is Beau Barrett of Chateau Montelena.
He's the winemaker at Chateau Montelena. She has other projects. I don't think they work together, and that's probably a good thing for their marriage.
For most couples. Well, so let's give this a taste. Well, cheers to everyone.
Cheers again. Cheers. Yeah. I'm getting a lot of like, oh wow, fig and blackberry, and even some like powdered cocoa.
You know what? I went ahead.
He's tasting it already, right?
This time I tasted it.
Yeah, there you go.
He usually jumps there.
All right.
But yeah, I definitely get that blackberry, the dried fig. There's some powdered cocoa, and also baking spices. So like cloves, cinnamon, maybe a little sprinkle of nutmeg in there too.
This is really
another very nice wine.
So these are three fabulous Cabernet Sauvignons from Napa Valley. I like them all. I think they're really wonderful. They're great to grace your table. This one you can get at winetransit.com, and it's about $55. So these are wonderful, in my opinion, value Cabernet Sauvignons from the Napa Valley. You can easily go $100, $150, $200.
Yes, prices ratchet up very, very quickly in Napa Valley. So these actually, for Napa Cabernets, kind of sit at the entry level.
Not entry level by no means, but
they're well worth it.
They're extremely well priced for quality wines.
Well, again, I'm Mike DeSimone.
And I'm Jeff Jensen, and thanks so much for watching. Cheers.
Cheers, and we'll see you next week.
And cheers.